Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mindfulness Meditation Monday. My name is Ellen Patrick, and I will be your guide. So let's get ready to meditate together. I always like to light a candle before I start. So may the lighting of this candle dispel the darkness in our minds and the minds of all beings. And so the lighting of the candle also creates space for ritual. When we sit down to meditate, it's important to set aside this time to journey inwards. Today's meditation is called the pause. And before we begin, I invite you to come into a comfortable seated position. Feel the stability of your pelvic bowl and the strength of your spine lifting you. Allow your heart center to open, facilitating a deeper breath. And as we begin the practice, I'd like to read to you a quote from Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. So this is asking us to slow down, to take a pause, to not be so reactive, to take a breath before we speak, before we act. We naturally embody the pause in our breath. Between each inhale and exhale is a pause, and between each exhale and the next breath, we pause. In that pause is a suspension of movement, a suspension of thinking, and a suspension of doing. And in that pause lies stillness, peace, quiet, rest. And in that state of being, we can then cultivate hope and gratitude, compassion, kindness, love, and the freedom that Viktor Frankl talks about. So I invite you now to close your eyes. Start to notice your breath, your inhale, your exhale. And then notice the spaces in between, the space in between your inhale and exhale, the space between your exhale and the next breath. And very gradually, beginning to lengthen that pause, not forcing a pause, but allowing. Maybe that pause is a second longer, a half a second longer. It really doesn't matter. Just attempt to lengthen that pause. So we inhale and pause, exhale and pause. And cultivating your breath in this way helps to deregulate the nervous system, allows it to relax, inviting you to be more present, to be more aware, to have the ability to take that pause. Notice in that pause that the mind begins to slow down. Even the breath is suspended for a moment. There's no doing. And then begin to notice the stillness, the quiet, the peacefulness, rest. Breath in, pausing, and breath out, and pausing again. And with each breath, that heart center is lifted and open, allowing you to feel peacefulness, to feel compassion, kindness, not just for others, but for ourselves as well. And as we do so, we start to lose feelings of judgment. There's a freedom. And all this comes from the pause. Breathing in, pausing, and breathing out, pausing again. Finding stillness, freedom, peace. Breath in, pause, breath out, pausing again, letting go of thinking, movement, replacing it with freedom. Heart open, mind clear, present to this moment. Inhaling, pause, exhaling, pause. A simple opportunity to let go, to be free. Between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. Take time to pause. Thank you for joining me today. I hope your evening is filled with pauses, filled with freedom, peace, and calm. And I look forward to our time together next week.